Hey traders, Raghee here, and taking a look at sort of the sentiment going into what I look at as a 2-day pit bull low phenomena that we see once a month. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with this, we cover this in the videos from time to time. I don't think I have in a while, so let me just put this up on the screen. Now if you want, just hit pause, read the notes. Okay, I'll give you a second to do that. All right, so I look at this oftentimes as a pit bull pullback if we're in the context of a trend, right? If we are trending, which of course in an asset bubble like we are right now, we are for sure. Now then the thing to think about is any weakness that we see here, and I do think it's going to be relatively limited. I'll show you where and how and why and what I use to measure that. But I think any of it's really going to do for the bulls a favor. It's going to give us a little bit of a pullback. It's going to set up some longs. All right. Now I'm going to show you how I make it. Whoa, that was loud. Sorry about that. Bell just rung. The markets are closed. So what I'm going to show you now is, there we go. What we have is essentially the set of tools that I use on my screen, and I'm going to jump on over to the volume profile. So what I do at the beginning of the month, usually a few days in, is I'll re-anchor this volume profile, which is studying the level at which we've seen the most volume so far for whatever the look back is. So I'm talking about so far through July. Where has most of the volume taken place? And most of it's taken place in the S&P around 31.35. So what I do is I track the volume from the standpoint of what have we seen thus far in July, and where has most of the volume taken place. That's the point of control. That's just good old-fashioned basic volume profile 101. Okay. The next thing I want to ask myself is, are we still in an uptrend? Now, if you've been following the analysis that I've been doing throughout last week and this week in these free videos, this isn't something I've been doing just for members. I've been doing it for everybody who's been watching these videos. This is the 10x indicator set. This is the grab indicator set. And 10x indicates the color coding logic of the candles here. And grab indicates the color coding of the logic of the candles on the left here. Grab's job, as well as this tool here called the JT trend, okay, that's job is to tell me whether or not we're trending. Now momentum, this is going to work better in a double green. Of course, trends are going to work better in a double green. So everything works better when the market is organized to the upside. Now, these are mostly green grab candles on the euro, on the S&P, and that's terrific. That means pullback buys are great. You know what looks even better? Let me show you the Nasdaq, right? So in the Nasdaq, we have an even better look at strength. So if and when we pull back to the point of control on the Nas going into the pit bull low, that weakness, and most of the weakness that we saw earlier this morning intraday, look, gang, it's not been easy, and it's been tough, especially when the volatility and the lows have been a little bit more pronounced as they've been, because the clearing ranges have been quite narrow. Those of you that have been following me on the day trades, you guys know it's been more difficult. However, what do I say time and time again, and what have I been saying for almost an entire month now? And in fairness, I should have started this 6 weeks ago, not 4 weeks ago. Okay, I can Monday morning quarterback myself with the best of them, and I think it's important to become better as a trader to do that. But I keep iterating to everybody, we need to think about the probability of the long side more so than the probability of the short side. I think a lot of traders, especially with the way we sold off, thought, all right, here's that sell-off day. And I kept saying, well, we hope it is. And if it is, we want to get long the Nasdaq. We want to get long discretionary. We want to get long specific stocks within discretionary. We want to take advantage of those pullbacks in such a way that we can ultimately get ourselves long in the weakness of this tendency called the pit bull low, and then take advantage of the resumption of the move. Now, I would not call this a terrific environment mostly in for momentum players. Like, for example, take a look at the XLY here. Heavily weighted sector within the Nasdaq. I do not have momentum here. This is not necessarily ideal for a volume breakout, but it is pretty good if you're buying at the 8 EMA, which is something we did today. Now you might say, Raghee, you're a futures trader. You're buying calls in XLY? Yeah, I'm buying calls in XLY. Earlier today. Why? We hit the 8 exponential moving average and my 3 8 dots are lit up. Now, it's valid because we have a double green. Again, on the 10x momentum layout here on the right, and on our grab layout, our grab indicator set here on the left, long positions on weakness is absolutely valid. 100%. XLY is a heavily weighted sector within the Nasdaq. I'm not as bullish the Dow. I'm not as bullish the Russell. I think the tide will lift all indices, but your relative outperformance is coming in the Nasdaq. So you might say, okay, Rog, I get it, but so what's the point? Thanks for hanging with me so far. I've kind of given you all the logic and all the rationale and all the tools that I use to give you the transparency of understanding. I want to be long, gang. I want to continue to be long. I want to continue to be long. If we get a pullback, terrific. I will look to buy into that if we get a pullback, mostly on the grab candle layout and mostly inside the 34 EMA wave. I look forward to the day that we can talk once, like we did earlier in here and earlier in here, to do the same thing. Gang, this is not the first time that I'll be doing this. This is not the first time you'll hear me talk about doing this. It's just maybe the third time in the last month that you'll see me do this. I'm going to continue to do this because it continues to work. We're in a double green environment. We want to continue to focus on those environments where we can take advantage of either momentum breakouts when the 10x candles are green and are validating that. Think Amazon. Amazon's green and I've got conviction dots. Am I going to look for volume breakouts within the context of a green 10x environment? Again, that's the chart here on the right. Absolutely. Are pullback buys valid on Amazon? Yeah, if we get them. If we get them, that's terrific. But the rate at which we get them is pretty low. But if the candles on the 10x are green, the rate at which we can see conviction dots through key levels is much higher. All right. Hope this has been helping. I mean, I've been doing a little bit longer, these free videos, these videos that we make available to everybody, because I really want you to understand this idea of high and low gear, understanding when to play pullbacks and when that is more valid, and understanding what environments specifically you can play these breakouts. And this is a daily time frame. We spent a lot of time last week looking at intraday. Now I'm looking at daily. So think about these indicator sets. Think about the high-low gear. Hope it's been helping. Leave your questions below, and I'll see you in the next update.